Your dog and your cat have never met each other's ancient ancestors, but those ancestors met millions of years ago on the same continents, at the same watering holes, fighting for the same kill. And the ancient rivalry between their lineages shaped the two very different animals sleeping in your living room tonight. Here's what nobody tells you about cats and dogs. They didn't start out as opposites. They started out as cousins. Around 40 to 50 million years ago, a single group of early mammalian carnivores split into two massive branches. The feliforms, the cat-like carnivores, and the caniforms, the dog-like carnivores. Same starting point, same deep evolutionary roots, completely different paths. Why? The answer isn't really about the domestic pets on your couch. It's about two radically different survival strategies competing for the exact same resources over millions of years. And you are still living out the consequences of that prehistoric competition today. Let's look at how these strategies diverged. The early cat lineage leaned heavily into a highly specialized design, the ultimate ambush hunter. Retractable claws to keep them sharp for gripping, flexible limbs for climbing and wrestling, and powerful shoulders built for explosive short-distance bursts of speed. Over millions of years, they perfected the art of the solitary stealth attack. The early dog lineage took a completely different bet. While the very first primitive dogs were small, forest-dwelling pouncers, they eventually adapted to a changing world. As Earth's climate cooled and dense forests dried out into sweeping open grasslands, the dog family known as canids evolved for endurance. They developed locked elbow joints for stable running, long legs, and non-retractable claws built like cleats for traction over distance. They weren't trying to outmuscle or surprise their prey. They were built to run it down until it collapsed from sheer exhaustion. Here's the question that paleontologists have spent decades trying to answer. What happened when these two completely opposite strategies crossed paths? The fossil record gives us an answer, and it's brutal. Distinguished paleontologists like Dr. Blair van Valkenburg have documented the evidence written directly into fossilized bones. Ancient carnivore skeletons routinely show healed fractures, deep puncture wounds, and crushed skulls that match the exact bite patterns of rival predator groups. These weren't animals fighting their dinner. They were rival lineages trying to eliminate the competition. In a world with limited prey, killing or driving off a rival wasn't malicious. It was survival math. And as the landscape changed, that math forced a deep psychological split. Paleontologist Dr. Xiaoming Wang, a leading authority on canid evolution, has documented how certain branches of the dog family gradually shifted from solitary hunting to cooperative pack behavior. This wasn't a casual choice. Group hunting and pack defense allowed mid-sized canids to take down massive prey and protect their kills from larger solitary predators. But a pack requires something an ambush hunter never needed: social coordination, hierarchy, and a hyper-awareness of group dynamics. A wolf or wild dog that cannot read its pack signals cannot survive. A cat, by contrast, was built to be a self-sufficient powerhouse. Aside from modern lions, the vast majority of feline history belongs to the solo operator. A solitary ambush hunter doesn't need to coordinate a tackle, share its food, or look for consensus. Needing a group was a liability, not an asset. This is where the story stops being about fossils and starts being about your living room. Every dog you have ever met carries the evolutionary residue of millions of years spent needing a group to survive. When a dog checks your face for approval or shifts its behavior to match your mood, it isn't just being sweet. It is running an ancient, hard-coded survival program. The same software that allowed pack hunting canids to trust one another on an open plain. And every cat you have ever met carries the opposite inheritance: millions of years of absolute self-reliance. A cat that ignores you when you call its name isn't being stubborn. It is running a program built around a solitary lifestyle. A program that was already perfected long before humans ever walked the earth. So when you watch a dog and a cat sharing the same house today, you aren't just looking at a personality quirk. You are watching the surviving strategies of an ancient evolutionary arms race. The dog's instinct to look to you for guidance, leadership, and connection. The cat's instinct to independently survey a room, requiring absolutely no one's permission to exist. Both are behavioral fossils, still active, still running quietly in the background on your living room floor.